Coming up, multi-state manhunt. The man with a lengthy rap sheet accused of killing a Virginia sheriff's deputy caught on camera outside of the Commonwealth. We'll tell you where as the reward for his arrest grows. Heroes save a horse. A sticky situation caught in a bridge for hours. The main event in Maryland ending in affection from the animal. No baseball. The threat of a stalemate between MLB players and team owners all over a salary cap.
That would be terrible. It's America's sport. No.
Fans feeling like they're facing a curveball before next season.
And we wrap up a beautiful weekend, start a decent week, but the heat and humidity is going to make a return. We'll talk about that coming up.
Also talking about pumping up some savings, literally, from free gas giveaway to tracking prices before your next visit to the pump. We're finding several ways to stretch your dollar.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Sunday evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Ben Dennis. We're going to take a live look outside of the roads. This is the Mixing Bowl in Springfield, Virginia. Man, what a gorgeous sunset we got. 9 o'clock. Here's the question. Are these lovely temperatures going to be sticking around into the week? The man of the hour for that answer. Scott Sumner, standing by. Scott, what do we got right now?
Well, the answer to that question is yes. Initially, short term, we will have some very pleasant conditions. Right now, we're sitting at 68 degrees. We have pretty much clear skies across much of the viewing area, although some high, thin, wispy clouds are going to be moving on in, coming in from the west. Here's little stripes of clouds, but overall, these clouds don't have any moisture associated with them, and so it's going to be a rain-free evening, even though clouds will be on the increase. Now, tomorrow morning's drive is also going to be rain-free as we have a front drop down from the north, but that's, again, just going to keep the clouds in play. Otherwise, it's going to remain dry from 5 right through till 9 o'clock in the morning. So what about the weather headlines? Yeah, we've got the clouds increasing tonight and the front moving through tomorrow. But when do we see some spotty showers? Possibly on Tuesday. And then, of course, a late week warm-up. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit. Ben?
All right, Scott, thank you. We have an update to that developing horrific story late last week. 3 people are still at Mary Washington Hospital in Fredericksburg after that crash involving a bus Friday on I-95. Hospital officials said that 1 person is still in critical condition fighting for their life. Other 2, serious condition. 19 of the 44 people hurt went to Mary Washington healthcare facilities. 5 people, including a 13-year-old and a 7-year-old, were killed when a charter bus failed to slow down in a traffic area. It slammed into 6 cars. The driver of that bus is facing charges, and the NTSB has launched a full investigation into what happened. Well, tonight the manhunt is continuing for the man believed to have killed a Virginia sheriff's deputy this weekend. Police now say the suspect was spotted in North Carolina. Police there, just south of the Virginia border, say Michael Timothy Puckett was caught on a trail camera this morning in Surry County. That's right there on the left. It's north of Mount Airy, North Carolina. Just a few miles from where Sheriff's Deputy Logan Utt and another deputy were shot Friday night during a welfare check. Deputy Utt died from his injuries. The FBI has added a $50,000 reward for information leading to his arrest and conviction, up from an initial $10,000 reward. We've also learned that Puckett has a lengthy criminal history. He is set to go to trial this August for allegedly possessing an explosive by a felon, that's the charge, and 2 counts of arson. He previously pled guilty to 7 counts of possessing explosives in 2015, as well as possessing a sawed-off shotgun. This is a developing story. We will bring you the latest updates on air and online at dcnewsnow.com. Right back here in the district, police say that a man was stabbed and just blocks away from Nats Park overnight. New video shows quite the heavy police presence in the area. This happened just before 1 a.m. on Yards Place. The man was taken to the hospital. We have some good news. He is expected to be okay. Police say that they're searching for a man wearing pink glasses along with a pink and blue fanny pack at the time. First responders in Montgomery County saved a horse. Their leg had fallen through a pedestrian bridge. Poor thing was trapped in Brookville at the Patuxent River State Park. Now, officials said they had to sedate the horse because it could not stand up. And after 4 hours, they freed its leg. First responders were able to help the horse off the trail. The animal suffered some soft tissue damage. Luckily, that leg was not broken, and it is unknown whose horse this is. The horse did thank those first responders for a job well done by brushing their head along one of the men who helped save it. Just some humanity there, right? Live look over the district. And in the distance, Nats Park, the Nationals taking on the Padres today. They won last night 9-4 in game 2 of 3. Well, DC beat San Diego today for their 4-2, bringing their season record to 31-29. How they were able to get the win, highlights later in sports. Speaking of numbers, there's a big question hanging over MLB stadiums and franchises. Team owners want a cap on player salaries, and there is a chance of a lockout once the current contract between owners and players expires this year. Our Dave Laval spoke with fans about the drama.
The last time Major League Baseball had a major work stoppage, we didn't even have the Washington Nationals. We still knew them as the Montreal Expos, and fans are not happy at the prospect of another lockout.
I did not hear that one.
Destiny Leday's first ever Nationals game in what may be her final season to watch baseball at the stadium.
That would be terrible. It's America's sport. No.
Major League owners issued their proposed salary cap last Thursday. Spending for player salaries would be limited to nearly $245.5 million a season. The Players Union rejected the plan and has long opposed a cap, including the Nationals.
Hopefully we can, move past that and, bargain whatever else we got to bargain and make it so there's no stoppage and we can have next season on schedule ready to go.
Love it with the players 100%. Pay those boys.
Andrew Hercules says no one wins if a lockout happens.
I think it would be a travesty to lose baseball, especially in the district. The Nats haven't been as good as they have in the last few years after they traded everybody away, but having baseball going, it wouldn't be the same in D.C., so I would hate to see that.
The owner's proposal would also mean teams would have to spend at least $171 million on players' salaries. Spot-Track reports the Nationals' payroll this year is just over $93 million, with only 3 teams that spend less. All of them would have to spend more under the owner's proposal. At Nats Park in Southeast, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Our thanks to Dave. Well, tomorrow marks the start of June. Can you believe it? I can't. But this also brings the return of Pride Month. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser will kick off the month-long event celebrating the queer community and contributions by raising the Pride flag. So mark the 4th year the flag will wave over D.C.'s City Hall, happening at 4 tomorrow afternoon. Plenty of events will be happening across the DMV, including the district, no doubt. The Capitol Pride Parade and Festival are the weekend of June 20th and the 21st. There will be a block party, as always, on 17th Street before the parade kicks off. Gas prices are starting to come down in some parts of the country, but they're still more than $1 higher this time this year than last year, according to AAA. Our wallets continue to feel the pinch. We know it. 4 churches, though, in Prince George's County lent a helping hand to families today. The pews may have been empty, but instead volunteers pumped gas for free at 5 gas stations in Upper Marlboro. 700 families pulled up and filled for $0.
So I really wanted to do something that we put people in motion in their faith, not just sitting in the church listening, but actually doing the work because people are in need.
They also handed out free groceries to 150 families. 200 Pepco customers were also able to ask questions about help to pay their energy bills. Helping you stretch your dollar even further and find some low prices in the region. Gas Buddy says DC drivers, you can pay cash and fill up for $4.17 at the Citgo on Minnesota Avenue in Northeast. Frederick, Maryland, it's $3.86 at W Express on West Patrick Street. Alexandria, Virginia, a gallon of regular going for $4.15 at the Speedway on South Patrick Street. All right, from here at home to negotiations connected across the globe. Uncertainty surrounds any deal with Iran, including after reports of more demands from President Trump. The president's reported changes to a deal are intended to pressure Iran into accepting the current framework, and sources in the Middle East tell News Nation's Robert Sherman the deal's fate rests largely in Trump's hands.
The negotiations between Iran and the U.S. are going back and forth tonight. From Friday, when the president was in the Situation Room deciding whether to green light or red light a deal that would have established a 60-day memorandum of understanding, to where we are tonight, where reportedly the president is asking for amendments to any kind of a deal with Iran. And in terms of what he's seeking, here's what he said.
I would rather get a deal because we can open the strait immediately upon signing. The one guarantee that I have to have is that there will be no nuclear weapons. They've agreed to that. If you're going to be in a hurry, you're not going to make a good deal. And slowly but surely, we're getting, I think, what we want. And if we don't get what we want, we're going to end it a different way.
Meanwhile, the United States military is active here in the Middle East, with Central Command announcing that a Gambian flagged ship was issued 20 warnings as it attempted to run the U.S. naval blockade. It ignored all 20 of those warnings and as a result was disabled by U.S. forces. Central Command saying a U.S. aircraft disabled the vessel by firing a Hellfire missile into the ship's engine room after Lion Star, that's the name of the ship's crew, failed to comply. Ship is no longer transiting to Iran. As regards to where the talks stand this evening, Iran emphasizing they simply don't have any trust for Washington. Their parliament speaker saying there's no trust in the enemy's words and promises. Our only criterion is to achieve tangible results before we fulfill our commitments in return. Something that Iran is looking for tangibly is an end to all fighting taking place in Lebanon. But Israeli forces are expanding their operations there, now pushing deeper than they have into Lebanese territory since 26 years ago, even taking control of a castle located in southern Lebanon. Since that April 17th ceasefire went into effect, security officials here in the region say that Hezbollah has fired over 1,000 rockets and drones. And Israel says as long as that threat exists, they will continue to push forward. In Doha, Robert Sherman, News Nation.
Our thanks to Robert. Coming up on DC News Now, a patient sick with measles spent days at one Virginia hospital, potentially exposing others. The health alert for families tonight. We found even more ways to help you save. Here's a question. Could a side hustle apply to your life? What you can do to get that extra cash? Some consumer tips. And ahead at 9:30, a new report indicates the reason why Virginia's economy may be struggling. We'll take a closer look.